Although the African continent has about 25% disease burden, which is the highest globally, the level of clinical trial investment on the continent remains minimum at about 2%. Africa has the greatest diversity in terms of genetic composition. We have over 3,000 ethnicities, which tells you how diverse we are. Over the decades, a lot of research is conducted off the continent, and we are consumers of the products of research or work done off the continent. And the problem with that, especially for clinical trials, is that there are products that are tested off the continent and then brought here, and all we do is consume them, and we are not sure about their efficacy and safety in our people. The question was, why is it that our sponsors are not willing or do not find Africa a good space for them to conduct their clinical trials? Through various conversations with our key stakeholders, it was clear to us that the clinical trial sites on the continent are not visible to them. They don't know where these sites are. They don't know what capabilities they have in terms of infrastructure and in terms of human capacity. We decided to sit down as all the stakeholders that are involved in this space to figure out what is the best way then to make it possible for our sponsors to identify where these clinical trial sites are. If we can create a community, an online platform that is easy for people, one, to identify where the clinical trial sites are, to find clinical trialists that have the same interest as themselves, and also to provide them with information about our regulatory timelines and ethics and review boards, then it will make it much easier for them to make the decisions to come to the continent. Conducting clinical trials on the continent will allow us to actually do the trials on our own people. It means that if we can be able to conduct clinical trials here, we will have more relevant products pushed forward to the bedside for our people. The drugs will be more relevant, more efficacious, more safe, and will save governments a lot of money, which sometimes they have to spend on what we call adverse effects when these drugs are not tested locally. The African Academy of Sciences, by creating this platform, we would like to change that by increasing the visibility of the sites and the clinical trialists on the continent, so that we can increase the investment and change that 2% to something bigger. If we can have 15% of the clinical trials being conducted on the African continent, that would be a great success. The challenge I want to give to all the stakeholders in the clinical trial space is that this platform is for you. My request is that work with us to make sure that it's up to date, that the information on this platform is accurate, because then it will be able to inform all of us in terms of decision making. On top of that, I'm also challenging you to be champions for this platform. Tell people about it, tell your colleagues about it, share the information about the proposed platform, or speak to us at the Academy, and we'll be able to give them more information about the proposed platform.